Yeah. Or not appropriate,
15.
but apropos. Because
10. 5. 4. Pray.
Our place,
okay.
our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, we'll find a friend to care it. Our place.
This is my impression of Oprah during the Beatles tribute. Not Oprah, I'm sorry. Yoko Ono. Probably Oprah too, but I'm sure they learned how to dance from the same instructor. But we are Our Place Out Loud. I'm your lovely and captivating host. The number of Facebook screen caps of Yoko dancing during the tribute were amusing. Like, what's Yoko on? I don't know. So we're here with a lovely panel of wise and wonderful teenagers. We've got Montana, Kiamute, Yulia, and Danny. Yulia and Danny are usually here for the show, but new to the panel because Maddie has gone on to help people, and Nico has a cold, and I think Ryan is coming back in a week or two, all you Rye Guy fans out there. So make a note of it. The return of Rye Guy. We have to really, really, really give him the business. We cannot make his return pleasant. We have to make it very difficult, very trying, and very stressful. Because he did leave us for basketball, and I think that priorities are important and that you need to set them appropriately, and his are way out of kilter. So we've got Valentine's Day coming up, and a lot of kids in the app have been writing about, asking questions about Valentine's Day. I also want to mention that Yulia is our social media specialist, so if you have any questions or tips or hints for social media and how we can spread the word about all good things that are our place, please share them with Yulia. She's here and she's got great ideas of her own, and she would love to hear from you regarding social media. We're going to start off with I kind of dipped into the Are You New section of the app because sometimes I just like to make sure that kids are getting the rules, and sometimes in Are You New you have kids immediately sharing kick names or trying to date or whatever. So sometimes I check in to just see who's new, and I thought it might be a fun thing to just welcome a new person. Don't know whether or not they know enough about the app to know that they're being welcomed on this radio program, but we have a new person, and there's a bunch every day, but this one immediately began a conversation with someone else based on mutual interests, which I thought was great. And she wrote I thought it was pretty cool that she says her name is Brianna, but her screen name is Anna Mae, which if you're keeping score at home is the real name of Tina Turner. Anybody? Wikipedia. It's your friend. But she wrote, so her screen name is Anna Mae, and she writes, and Annie Mae Bullock is the real actual name of Tina Turner from Nutbush, Tennessee, or some state in the Union. I'm not sure. I'm Brianna. I play instruments. I like meeting new people, and I write my own songs. I'm 15. So if you guys see Brianna in the app, screen name Anna Mae, please say hello to her and ask her. Say, is this really Tina Turner? Because you know, it could be. It could be. Anonymous writes, "Hey Weezy, sorry to bother you about this again. I'm the person who was telling you about the guy taking down my number and not texting. So this touches upon the issue is when you meet someone socially, they ask for your digits, and then you never hear from them again. And this is not new to the world of texting. This has been going on since the invention of the telephone. When someone's number was 1, someone else asked for it and didn't call. So trust me. It's like, why doesn't Alexander call me? I gave him my number. You know those bellboys. They're just players." I'm kicking it really old school. Anyway, he still hasn't texted, and even though I am not all that desperate as I was last week, I literally am feeling kind of annoyed and insulted in a sense. Do you think maybe my anticipation is getting the best of my emotions because I don't even want to think about him anymore, and it's all because I'm waiting for him to just say hi? So let's talk about, I don't think I've ever asked for someone's number and then not called the person. This isn't one of the games that I ever played, but what does go into this phenomenon, do you think? Why would someone do you want to see, is it like to see if someone would give you their number? Is that the game? And then once you've won that game, you don't really need to call the person because you already feel good about yourself? Or what would compel someone to ask for a number and then not text or call the person? Panel?
Oh, you forgot them. They were boring, and then you forgot them. Not saying that you're boring, but like I've taken down people's numbers before, and I wanted to text them, or like there's just too much going on. But normally, like when I do that, I don't feel like they should take it personally because I'm not doing it vindictively. Like, I got your hopes up, and now I'm not gonna text you.
Right. I don't think there's usually any kind of vindictive pursuit. I think it's just in the moment you think I may want to have access to this person again, and then real life gets in the way. Jake?
I have camera this. Oh, and I knock over everything. I have camera this week, and I'm dipping into some advice from my teacher. She deals with like kids all the time, and we asked her how she did it. She gave me this wonderful quote: "Kids are usually stupider than they are evil. In most cases, it's someone forgetting to do something, someone not realizing that they're hurting you. In 80% of the cases, it's someone not honestly knowing that what they're doing is wrong, or that they're being forgetful, and they're not purposely trying to be malicious." And I think this falls into that category.
I think that's very thoughtful and probably very, very true. I like that people are stupider than they are mean. It's kind of insulting, kind of funny, and probably mostly true. Not that people are stupid, but that life just is overwhelming and it gets in the way. So what's actually happening could be that the second he felt like texting you, got nervous, got distracted, didn't text you. When he got your number, he wanted your number. If someone gets your number, get theirs. That way you know for sure, like, it's not just because he's nervous. You could try texting him. Kyo.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with the assuming that they're just stupid. And in most cases, I assume that whatever the person is doing isn't to try and hurt me, because if it is to try and hurt me, then I don't want them to get me. Like, I don't want them to win. And if it's not to try and hurt me, then I shouldn't feel bad about it.
Or I think, when something like this happens, you get your hopes up that, oh my gosh, he likes me, I'm going to hear from him, and you're waiting, and with every passing 24 hours, you're like increasingly disappointed, and then you start to rethink the conversation and go over everything you said in your head. Montana?
Well, the other thing is that she's waiting for this guy to text her. Maybe he's doing the same thing. He's waiting for her to text him.
She didn't get his number. I remember the beginning of the story.
Oh, never mind. Well, maybe he's still waiting.
Yeah. Or maybe that's him calling. And I'm going to give it to him. Oh, my God. I'm so mad. Yulia.
Does she have him like on Facebook or
She
Instagram?
doesn't have him. That's the thing. She doesn't have a way of reaching him.
Yeah, then I would, next time, what I usually do is I'll give a person my phone, and then I'll take their phone, and then I'll exchange numbers like that.
Just do it like that. And learn from, you don't like this feeling of being, like, not having any control out of whether or not you have a contact with this person. It's all on him. And even if he just gets shy for a second and then wants to get to the next level of a video game, it's like the moment passes. Have we got a caller? Maddie's calling. Hey, Maddie. I'm really mad at my mom. Is this the helpline? Matt, is this the helpline? Yeah, like,
yeah.
I'm really mad at my mom, okay? She, doesn't get it. What should I do?
I'm so sorry. That must feel so hurtful. How can you help her understand your feelings?
I could say, Mom, why can't I go to the thing with everybody?
Which is the thing that you're going to?
The thing that everyone's going to that thing.
Want to go to.
Of course, the thing. Well, it's really hard, sometimes when parents make decisions and you just kind of can't communicate to them why you're feeling like you just really want to go. I know how hard that feels. I'm so sorry that you're having such a problem communicating with your mom.
Really good. Round of applause for Maddie. It's really helped me feel better.
You.
It feels so much better.
I'm in the car on the way back from Cedars-Sinai. I just finished my first training.
How did it go? Tell us all about it.
It went really well. I got a brick of a binder that I have to go through.
And what kind of chapters are in that binder?
Oh, let's see. What are the sections?
How to talk to
There's
Weezy's mom.
listener skills, environmental, mental health, sexuality, orientation, more listener skills, more mental health, psychological and environment, and self-care.
Did you meet any really cool kids there, or all the kids are like really troubled, and you're like, oh my god, this guy's gonna be giving people advice?
You know, you'd be surprised how many Harvard Westlake kids were there.
Oh wow.
At least half of the group was Harvard Westlake. I was like, oh my gosh, you are really, really smart people.
Or rich.
I
Well,
felt really stupid.
Harvard Westlake is where Jordan went. You have to be like a genius to get in there.
Oh, I know.
All right, so are you feeling excited and optimistic about this adventure?
I'm really excited, and I can't wait to share all my knowledge with you guys.
Well, we can't wait either. Were you listening to the show in the car?
You know, I tried, and I got the video feed, but I didn't get the sound. But you guys are on the question about the texting, how she gave the guy's phone number and he has a text.
Yep. But we look really cute, right?
Of course. You all look fashion forward.
Fashion forward. Yes. So did you have an opinion about why people would take a number and then not text?
Yeah, it could have been like in the moment flirting type thing, like, hey, wink, wink, can I have your number? Wink, wink, because I'm super interested. Wink, wink. It could have been that, although highly unlikely. But I mean, it's kind of, he could also just be busy and have forgotten to call. Kids are so busy with school these days that, you know, I hardly get the moment to, you know, text my friends, let alone someone who I just gave my number to.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to let Keo weigh in.
Just to the person asking this question, try and put yourself in the guy's shoes, and if he wants to text you, imagine trying to think of what you would say, for one, and maybe it would be easier for you, but for a lot of people, they'd be like, okay, well, I don't know what to say, and they would just be stumped, so there's that too.
Yeah, he could be very nervous, too.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
why
he likes her that much that he's, like, so extremely nervous just to text her hi.
Just always go with emojis.
Exactly. That way, you know, people can't be like, but you sent me this emoji. It's just an emoji.
Or just make an
It
animal
says
noise
nothing.
or something. Like, meow.
Matt wants to say something.
Yeah, I have to weigh in on this because I did this once as a teenager.
Evil boy.
Obviously, there was no texting back then because I'm older than a dinosaur, apparently. But I did get a girl's phone number, and then I didn't call. I'm not saying that this was the right thing, but I am saying that sometimes boys get embarrassed. Sometimes they don't know what to say, like Keo was saying. Sometimes they get the phone number and then they go home and then they think about how much ribbing they're going to endure from their friends when you finally show up, you know, dating a girl, and you decide it's way too much pressure and then you don't know what to do. And so don't feel too bad. This does happen. Guys are not necessarily the most adult at that age, but it may not have anything to do with you.
It has nothing to do with you. It just happened. So this time you're learning. Always get the number so that you can have more control over staying in contact with this person. We are at 888. Oh, we're going to have to let you go, Maddie, and open up the phone line. Thank you so much for calling in. We will see you soon. Okay, honey. Bye-bye. We are at Bye. We are at 888-531-7171. We are Our Place Out Loud. The next question comes in from Stay Nice. Why do girls call me ugly but boys don't? A simple question. Girls at school frown at me, call me ugly, and stuck up all the time, while the guys have the opposite opinions. Ooh, Montana's hand is up.
Clearly, the girls are just jealous.
Right, but if you're cute and if girls are jealous, what can you do to counteract that and let girls know that you're not a threat, you're not after their boyfriend, you're a good friend to have? Yulia?
I would just like give them a compliment, like, oh, I love your hair, or I like your clothes, and then girls start kind of liking you because you're not because it sounds like girls might think you're self-centered and you're only about yourself. But if you give something to them like a compliment, then they will like you.
So I'm going to tell a little story. I go to this women's writing salon. I told the story in the app to this one girl. I go to this women's writing salon once a month, and there's lots of times there's new people there. And as I was walking in, there was this really pretty lady. And I walked right past her, and I was like, I knew she was new, so if she looked at me, I was going to smile and say hello. But she didn't look at me, like she avoided eye contact. And I remember thinking, people probably think she's stuck up when she's actually probably just shy. So if you're pretty, you have to kind of go out of your way to make eye contact because unfortunately people will assume that if you don't look at people and you're pretty, that means you're stuck up. And you could be shy just like everyone else, but you have to let people know that you're approachable and that you think they're awesome. And if you pay compliments like what Yulia said, it just goes a long way because you don't want to go through your life with only guy friends and having all the women on the planet think that you're a threat and you're after their guy or whatever. Like tell the girl like, "Oh my God, you look so cute with Frankie," and like, tell them what they need to know. Like reassure them like, "Oh, you guys are cute together. I think he likes you." Be a good friend and let them know that you're not threatening, you're an asset to anyone's life. Do we have a caller, Justin? Oh, it's Fang. Hey, Fang.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Nothing, man.
Did you want to talk about what we're talking about, or did you want to bring up your own question?
Well, first,
Yes.
I want to ask,
Mhm.
however you say his name.
Kiamute.
Yes.
It took me about
What?
7 months to learn it, so on your own time with that.
Yeah.
That's why we call him
I wanted to
Kyo.
ask
There's a
him
time for
what
everything.
that-
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yep. That's
What?
his name.
What that?
Go ahead.
What that piece was that he was playing earlier in the pre-show.
He
the last
played.
one they-
Well, he can go through his set list for you. He did a little Bieber on my request. Go ahead.
The first one they were both from the box suites. The first one was they were both preludes. The first one was first suite. No, the first one was the third suite. The second one was the first suite. And the prelude of box suites.
And then a little Bieber in between,
Yeah.
right?
You could Google those and that's what'll come up if you just.
Oh, I'm in band. We do a lot of classic.
Oh, you do a lot of classical. What do you play?
I play French horn.
Ah, I love the sound of that instrument. They had French horns on the Beatle tribute.
Yeah.
It's across the universe.
Well,
Pretty amazing. Yeah. All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to mention? Have you ever taken a girl's number and then not texted her?
No, actually, the weekend that I went to the church camp was the first time I ever asked a girl for a number. So.
Pretty good milestone for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll speak to you very soon and see you in the app. So we're going to do a Thread Theater, Act 1. I have 2 this week because, well, there's one that I keep putting off just because it's so meaty that I didn't think it was appropriate for this week because I thought we were going to have a youngster in the studio with us. What? Did someone just yell, "Oh"? Oh, no, sorry. All right. So Thread Theater, this is a really short one, but I thought it was such a good question, and it's never come up before in the show, if you can believe it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever that someone's phone number is, their screen name, not appropriate. But Montana, why don't you be that person, and then Kyo, you can be 8 hours, and then Yulia, you can be Jenny, and then of course the star of the show is Terrafin, and that's you, Danny. Curtain up on Thread Theater, Act 1, The Truth About Selfies.
What are guys' opinions on girls' selfie faces? Lol. Like, I mean, what do guys think when girls do duck faces, stick their tongue out, pout their lip, etc.? Just to know how my guy friends think of me.
A lot of guys, also girls, find selfie faces annoying. Just stick to a smile if you're gonna post selfies and get creative. If it's fun, then people love it. Hope this helped.
All the guys I know find them ridiculous.
Derpy.
Okay, can we just stop? Can we just stop? Is that a word? And if that's a word, what does it mean?
It's like derp. It's like yeah.
So
derp.
the first thing Danny ever said on the show was the word derpy.
Yeah.
That's just the most glorious thing ever. All right, so opinions on selfie faces, because I mean I have them. Mine are very strong. They're not good, and I don't think we should open with them. Kyo.
Well, for one, I liked how the responses went from like pretty long, like a lot of guys, blah blah blah, and then the next one was all guys find them ridiculous, shorter but still to the point. And the last one was just derpy.
That's awesome, Yulia.
Well, we posted a selfie on Instagram of the panel, so if you guys want to see that.
Okay. Did you guys do classic selfie faces?
No, we should do one
Dang,
though.
yeah,
we'll
do
do
one
one
with, like,
before the
all the
show's
classic
over.
selfie faces and give
That
them
would
all
be
names.
fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can I include guys in this because like I don't need to see your abs or your ribs or whatever the hell that is you're showing me by lifting up your shirt. And guys can be just as guilty of like doing cliche selfies, either trying to be muscly or blowing smoke. I mean, some of the selfies that guys do are pretty valuing the wrong things, shall we say? So, are any girls in the room guilty of any classic selfie poses, like at age 12 or whatever, Montana?
Not classic, but it's the.
Oh, well,
That's my only selfie.
But
pose.
you invented that. That's a Montana creation.
Really? I thought that was like a thing.
That's a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know
I've
who
never
else
seen
does it.
anybody else do it, but like
It's your thing. That's your thing. Yeah. And
that's
it's
my turn to open my phone.
It's how you open your phone.
I had to get rid of that. It wouldn't recognize me after a while.
I know. It's essential. Your thoughts on selfie faces, or let's specifically duck face. Let's go there. Does that make people think that they look skinnier?
I don't
or
know.
What
It
is it?
like messes up your face to me. Like I can't even tell what you look like really. Like I'd rather just see you not smiling. I'd rather see you smiling.
She duck faced. Screen cap that and put it everywhere.
But yeah, I would rather people be smiling, but don't if you're not gonna smile, just take the picture without the duck face making your face look weird. It just looks weird.
Like, you know how there's like classic paintings and we look at the expression and try and wonder if the person was deep in thought or whatever. There's not going to be one duck face 1,000 years from now that anyone is studying for any reason.
I hope not.
Like, what made the duck face duck? And not like, what made the Mona... Oh, has anyone done a Mona Lisa duck face? That'd be so epic. Oh. Matt, see if you can find a Mona Lisa duck. Who is that, Jake?
Yeah, Googling now.
Result number 2. That's collagen duck face. That's so great. Mona Lisa duck face is what I need to see. It will make me so smile. All right, and so Danny, what do you think if you're friends with someone on
Get it,
Instagram
Jake,
and
it's
their
on there.
profile picture is some sort of what about the tongue? Because frankly, I don't need to see your tongue.
What do they do with their tongue?
They stick it out.
Oh, like Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, they usually do this when they stick it out. We found Mona Lisa duck face. Can you put that? That's so great.
Disturbing.
It's very creepy.
Oh my God! She has an Apple product and a mirror. Who gave her a mirror? That's the greatest thing. All right, so Danny, if you're friends with some girl and you look through all their pictures and there's a lot of that, where she's in the mirror, you can see the toilet in the background and she's trying to look, sassy. Is that someone you want to be friends with, or?
I don't know, but I know she loves the way she looks, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take selfies, but if you do, I don't really judge someone on their self. Well, if they have a lot of them, yeah.
See, what would be more impressive to me than a selfie would be knowing that you have a friend who can take your picture for you. To me, that'd be oh, well, there's points there. A mirror is not essential to have a photograph of this person. She knows someone, Keo.
But I don't judge a person too much on what pictures they take. And I've taken selfies before, but they're of me not smiling, just sitting there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
cool. That's kind of cool.
I mean, that's also because I don't hang out with people who take pictures. It's none of my friends are the type of people who are always taking pictures.
Right.
So it's
You know what I love? This is for the Facebook generation of my mom. What's more glorious than selfies is the photo booth of your grandmother trying to make a profile picture in front of her computer. You know, and they're just kind of. Because they want to press the right button, but they want to. Those selfies are the greatest. There needs to be like a website of just grandmother's photo booth profile picture. You know, where they just did their best job of taking their own picture. Those are, to me, that's much more commendable. But who else had you? Montana, you had a hand up about selfies?
Oh yeah. I've noticed the duck face isn't as much a thing, whereas the selfie where you take it but you block out your face with your like phone. I see that all the time now. I don't know why. I don't know.
Is it just like the eyes showing, or?
No. Like they block out their entire head with the phone
Is
camera
that
because they're trying to do it. They're trying to do it in a mirror, so they get everything else, just not their face.
What would be
It
really
could
cool
be like
is if
outfit
they
of
had.
the day or something.
No.
No.
No, I saw one
so
of this chick just like she was doing it and she was like in sweatpants in her room with her dog and it's like it just blocked out my face.
So what she should get is like a phone case with a picture of her face on it. And that would be epic, right? All right, I think we've exhausted this topic. Please give us a call and give us something to talk about, or send us your selfie. You send us your selfie right now. Send it to what email address, Matt? Does Jake have access?
What did I just do to myself here? Test. Oh, sorry. There we go. How
Matt just
about
turned
that?
off the show.
No, it was still working. We just didn't know. ourplacephoto@gmail.com.
Do we have access to it? Does Jake have the password or whatever?
I don't know. Oh, hold on, Jake. Talk now.
At some point I logged into it, maybe.
Oh, because I think I changed our email address to be ourplaceoutloud@gmail.com. So I don't remember the password to ourplacephoto.
We're very technologically advanced here at our place.
But it would be cool if we.
When we forget
we
a password, we just make a new email.
It'd be really cool if we were prepared, or you could post it on Instagram and tag. Were you gonna say that, Yulia?
Yeah,
go ahead.
you can tweet it at Our Place Network, or you can post it on Instagram. Just tag it Our Place.
Yeah, so take a selfie and make it like the most ridiculously exaggerated cliche of a selfie that you possibly can. And you can do hashtag selfie cliche, just so that people don't think that this is what you tried to do on purpose, that you weren't being whimsical. And if and Yulia will look for it, and if we get it by the end of the show, we'll put it on the show. Okay?
Yep.
And you could do it on Instagram and just do at Our Place Network.
Yeah.
And it will show up. I think Danny's going to make one right now. All right. So that was a really good thread theater. I enjoyed it. You guys were excellent. Give us a call at 888-531-7171. This comes in from Brunette. My Valentine's dance is tomorrow, and I still don't have a date. I really like this new kid. He's nice and funny, really funny, and sometimes he shows signs of liking me, but I can never be sure. I really want a date to the dance since I'm forced to go because I'm on student council. What should I do? By the way, I'm not confident. So it's the whole debate about whether or not you should allow an occasion to make you feel compelled to ask out a person that you don't know yet. Is that ever a good idea? I mean, I know I'm loading the question with doubt, but Kyo?
I mean, ask them out. You don't know anybody until you ask them out, right? I mean, not
you
really.
become friends before you ask people.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, don't do it. I don't let occasions, make me do anything, really. I don't even, I don't do Christmas presents because it's Christmas, usually. I'll do a present randomly, or, birthday presents or something like that. I'm kind of weird, but, I don't think that you should go, ask somebody out just because it's Valentine's Day.
I mean, she could be feeling like, since she's on student council, she might feel like people will be judging her if she goes without a date. Like, I never felt judged by anyone to go to anything without a date. I would rather be on my own than be, have that forced pressure of trying to get to know a person and attend an event all at the same time. Like, ugh. That would make me, so dread it. But, Montana, what were you going to say?
Maybe she could just ask if he's going and get him to go, but don't be come with me. Just be hey, go because I'm on student council and we can hang out.
Yeah.
And then it'll be less pressure
Yeah.
and it won't be weird and it won't be okay, now we're coupley and then we have to couple together and
That's a good idea.
hand motions.
Hand motions, yes. Jake, did you have something?
Oh, am I muted? What? Okay.
Not anymore.
I was going to say that it sounds pretty awful to have your first date be a dance, because you don't get to talk at all. You think, oh, it's going to be romantic and all that stuff. It's a middle school, high school, whatever dance. Nothing really happens. You don't talk to people. People don't even dance. They just kind of bounce up and down like this. Like they're so excited just to be there, but they're not really, and they're nervously looking around to their friends who are all also kind of looking excited. So they all pretend like they're excited together. So you should maybe like, if you're like, oh, I hate that I have to go, and you're like, oh, I'm not going. So well, you should come and keep me company or something like that. Try and make it something like more of a hanging out next to a dance instead of a dance.
I like that. Just kind of frame it that way. We've got a caller who wants to weigh in. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Culfer. How are you?
Good.
Did you want to talk about the question?
Yes,
Go ahead, please.
So, what was the question again?
Should she ask the guy out that she likes him, he's cute and funny, really funny, but she doesn't know him that well and she needs a date for the dance? Should she use this as a reason?
Well, a way to get to know a person is to ask them out.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way to get to know them. So she could ask them out and get to know them.
All right, so is the whole reason that they create dances to force us to do things that are scary, like talk to romantic partners and this and that and the other? Montana?
Yeah, this dance, like, by having it like Valentine's Day dance, it seems like really shovey of the school to be like, well, it puts pressure on kids to have a date and, like, get all dressed up and have this be a really stressful, like, prom type experience when it's actually just kind of more of an opportunity to just hang out and have fun. Not that any of the students should feel that pressure, but it definitely implies that.
So why do they have school dances instead of just school picnics where you get to just strap your leg to somebody else's and run?
I think it's because maybe more people come for a dance.
Yeah,
More people will
probably.
come for a dance.
But, like, did you see The Bachelor last night? They got to roll in balls full of water down a giant hill. I mean, if you want to have fun, do that. All right, you don't have to watch The Bachelor, but I'm saying that's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Kia wants to talk.
I like that image that you gave me when you said strap someone to your leg and run, because I just imagined going up next to somebody, tying yourself to them, and then running. And then, what are you doing? Like,
Just a random person. You have Velcro and you just like Velcro on Velcro.
I didn't sign up for this.
it's like your way of abducting someone or something. But yeah, dances are just a strange thing to me. Like, they're so awkward, like they're forced and people go to them but they don't really want to, but then again they kind of do want to be there. I don't know. I think it's better if you can, like Montana and Jake have been saying, make it seem more like a hangout rather than a date, because that's a little less pressure, it's more comfortable.
Where you're like, hey, do this with me, I need you, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like, okay, and if you like each other, great, but even if you don't, it's still like, you know, I just need someone to do this with me because I got to go and do it. Yulia?
I would just say, hey, you want to go with me to the dance as a friend? Just say that. Use the word friend, and then there's no pressure at all.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, but, like, whenever somebody would say to me, do you want to go do this as a friend, I thought it was their way of saying, like, I'm not interested in dating you ever, you know, and, like, I always felt like that was a little bit insulting. So if you do like the guy, you got to be careful that he's not going to think that you only think of you guys as friends, Kyo.
Yeah, I can see that, but it can also be, I mean, it's good to be kind of like, guys are kind of confused, so if you're like, you should go to the dance, let's hang out at the dance, they might not understand, like, they like it being put out simply, okay, this is just us being friends, rather than, is she asking me out? What does this mean? What does she mean by this? He might be confused. And I feel like if you say as a friend, you can always kind of fix that later. Like, you can give other cues.
Promotion.
Like, yeah.
Come into my office. I really like what you've done here, and you're really showing a lot of motivation and proactivity, and we were wondering how you see your future. 5 years from now in this operation. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling, Mrs. Culver. We really do appreciate hearing from you every week. It's become a tradition. Jubilee writes, can my friends be my Valentine? Is that weird? Am I normal? I think that you can. Valentine's Day isn't just about romantic love. Like, I think a lot of people, the greeting card company definitely doesn't want it to just be about romantic love, because if they did, they wouldn't make Valentine's Day addressed to your mother cards. They want it to be about all kinds of love, and it's an artificial holiday anyway, and people give out, like, one of the kids in my comedy class yesterday said that his teacher, I don't know what grade he's in, he's like 12, his teacher said that if you give a Valentine to one kid, you have to give a Valentine to every kid. And so we were writing a joke about it, like, oh, I guess your teacher wants you all to be players. Like, you're even dating the teacher.
That's what I used to do when I was in, like, kindergarten and first grade. I used to make them out for everybody in the class.
Yeah, so my sister always has a Valentine party, and she always gets cute things with hearts on them for all her siblings, and I think Valentine's Day is whatever you make of it, and it's one day, it lasts 24 hours, and then it's over. Like, it doesn't have to be a high-stress thing. If you're not in a relationship, join more than half the people on the planet who go through Valentine's Day not in a relationship. It's perfectly fine. Danny?
I think girls make it a really big deal because they're like, oh, forever alone, that, like, they want to be with somebody, but it's like, it's not like about, like, it's about any relationship. It's like any love relationship. It doesn't have to be like you're dating.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh, I can't face Valentine's Day alone. So would you please be my boyfriend for 24 hours? and it's like, it's not like a job. You're not trying to. You're not like casting a play. Like, oh, could you please play boyfriend on the date of February 14th, and then because then you have to break up with the person, and that's stressful. So just kind of like hold hands with your girlfriends, go to the movies, and the next thing you know, the day will be over, and people won't be talking about it anymore. It doesn't have to be this high pressure thing. And like, if you go through like lots of Valentine's Day forever alone, then you'll just appreciate it all the more when you are with the right person, because that will happen one day. I believe in love, and at 15 or 20, you're not meant to know that person yet. Maybe you just don't know that person yet. They're somewhere on the planet looking for you, and I just believe that. So please don't put pressure on yourself that you're supposed to, at 15, call yourself forever alone. That there is no forever at 15. It's just begun. Like, it hasn't even begun. So let's move on to the next question. I skipped this one. It's from Jimmy Dean, and he makes an excellent sausage, and I recommend it. Okay, so I like this girl. I'll call her Kate, and I like her a lot, and I think she likes me too. All dandy, right? Well, wrong. Her BFF, I think, likes me too, and I have to ask her out quick. Parentheses, Kate, but how do I do that? I have third and sixth period with her. How do I do that? I can see her at rec time, but she's never there, and she takes the bus and I walk. What do I do? I'm only 12, please. So you get this sense of urgency from this kid that if he doesn't ask out this one girl, immediately he'll be trapped forever in a loveless marriage with this other girl. And I just don't see the urgency at age 12. You can continue just kind of all growing up together. But what do you guys think? Q?
Yeah, I mean, you can, if someone else likes you, you're allowed to say, no, I don't like you, sorry. I mean, it sucks to reject somebody, but if they like you and you don't, then it's worse to be in a relationship with them when you don't like them. It's not something that you have to rush, and you might end up regretting it if you do rush it. Yulia, do you have something?
I would just tell them, like, I like you as a friend, and then, that closes off the other possibilities. And then you still keep that person, but you don't hurt their feelings.
Right. And if being friends isn't enough for them, then they can, kind of create some distance, because sometimes it's too painful to watch your friend date the person that you like, and we all understand that, Q.
This is something that I'm curious about because it's something that I would do, but I don't know if it would be the right thing. I would always say I like somebody else, but it wouldn't necessarily be true. But if somebody liked me,
I think that's really good and honest. He does like somebody else. That's
Yeah.
true for him.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out between which period am I going to ask this kid out, because, I mean, she's not coming to rec, and I don't know why she's not coming to rec. I mean,
Yeah.
get her on the phone right now and ask her what she's doing, but she needs to go to rec. This boy wants to ask you out. Montana.
The good part of being like 12 and trying to like date and whatever
Mhm.
is that you can totally, and any age too, but you can totally just say, you're nice, I like you as a friend, but I don't feel I'm ready for a relationship right now, which totally makes sense when you're a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you're older, but especially because sometimes it's just too much stress and you just don't want that. You just want to hang out and do whatever.
Danny?
When I was 12, I'm pretty sure I wasn't thinking about relationships. I just liked a lot of girls at the same time. So I don't know if this kid, I guess he really likes this girl. But
Yeah, I mean, it's all of the above. I mean, for any kid, it could be like at 12, some boys are not interested in girls yet, and some guys have been interested in girls since they were 2. It just, everybody's different. Kyo?
Yeah, and I feel like if you tell her that you already like somebody, then it's not. If she ends up liking you, because you don't know for sure that she likes you, and if she ends up liking you and confessing to you, if you tell her that there's somebody else that you already like, then it's kind of less of a, oh, he just doesn't like me, and it's more of a, oh, there's already somebody that he likes, and it's less hurtful, I feel like, to the.
Well, it's going to be hurtful because you're always like, then you're going to compare yourself to the other girl and be
Well,
like, why
you
does
don't-
he like her? And
You don't have to tell her the other girl. Just
But
say somebody
she'll
else.
see it if you start dating that other
That's
girl.
true, but I mean, maybe it was just they were there first. You met them first. It was that type of thing.
It just could be like, I got a letter this week from a kid being like, I like this kid, he likes this other girl, she likes this other guy, and I'm like, that's how it is for a long
Yeah.
time. You like somebody who likes someone else, who likes someone else, who likes someone else, until eventually it just kind of, the wheels turn and click into place, and boom, you're like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like. It's not supposed to be hard, it's supposed to be actually natural, and then it's just like so refreshing, because you spend so much of your life wondering, what does he think, and what did he mean when he said that, and he went 2 days without calling, and I'm wondering, maybe I'll just text him a heart, and then I'll just not say anything else, and then I'll bake cookies, and I'll tell him that there's only one for him because they're for my friend, and she had her foot operated on, but then I'll say that we're having people over, and if he is stopping, whenever I look over at Jake, Jake starts falling over.
I lost it at the foot operation. I can't.
But, this is what we do. We create, this kind of, how do I make this guy, he's gonna like you or not. That's it. And he didn't mean anything other than exactly the words that he said. I'm going to the game. That didn't mean, but if I weren't, I'd be over. That didn't mean anything other than what he just told you. Stop trying to read so much into it. Guys that want to date you, really try hard to be around you. You'll know. Give us a call at 888-531-7171. Anonymous writes, how do I ask a close guy friend over text to be my Valentine? We used to have a thing, but now we are friends, and I don't want him to think of it as me asking him out, just me kind of saying I have feelings for him, if that makes sense. I didn't write back, that makes no sense, but I did think it, because first of all, if 90% of our communication is nonverbal, then even a phone call is a very limited means of communicating. So if a phone call is 10%, then texting is 1%. And you're going to convey to him the nuance that you don't really want to date him, but you like him, but you don't like him more than being with him for 24 hours. That is Valentine's Day. You're going to convey to him this type of nuance over texting. He's going, all that anybody, guy or girl, would see is, wow, she wants to get back with me. There's no way for anybody to interpret it any other way if you imply that you would like to be his Valentine, especially if you've already had a thing. Kyo.
Yeah, unless you say, "Hey, will you be my Valentine? We used to have a thing, but now we're friends, and I don't want I don't want you to think." I mean.
And then end with, does that make any sense? And then the dude's gonna be like, No. I think you like the guy, and like let's take Valentine's Day out of the equation. This is not about Valentine's Day. This is about what do you want, because if it's just that you don't want to be alone on Valentine's Day, forget it. Don't text him a thing. Don't contact him. Don't mess with him. Don't play games. Don't just need to be held or walk hand in hand with somebody on February 14th. But if you take Valentine's Day out of it and you say, you know what, I've been thinking about this guy a lot, then we can talk about what to do. And I would say do not do it over text. Keo.
Yeah, it's not really fair to do that because the other person doesn't really know what you're thinking. They don't know that it's just for Valentine's Day or that you don't feel anything for them. And you shouldn't do it just for Valentine's Day. If not for yourself, don't do it to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she says she has like feelings for him, but she doesn't want to date him. What
I'm
does that
confused.
mean?
I'm not even him.
Okay, I'm also confused about that. Would you think? I have to sneeze, but I'm really trying to fight it.
Well, I can talk while you sneeze. I'm good at talking. Yeah.
Do you think there's like a way for her to convey to him that she has feelings for him and doesn't want to ask him out? Or I don't even know if that's worth telling him because she doesn't want to really be with him, but she's content being friends, but she also has feelings for him, but why make that weirder than it needs to be?
Well, that's
because
why
that's confusing.
If it's already confusing, then it definitely has to not be a text.
No,
she's got to be
never text.
She's got to be
Never
face to
text.
face with him, and she's got to say, "I don't know what I'm feeling," and like look him in the eyes, because then that may help you obtain some clarity. If you see his eyes, you may be like, "Oh, I think I'm starting to get what I'm feeling," because texting is it's so limiting. Keo, nicely done.
Thank you.
I did. It was
Yeah,
a nose pass.
definitely out of text, and just try and be as honest with yourself as you can through this whole thing. I mean, it's hard to figure out. Like, love is confusing, and even not love, just liking someone is confusing. Like, those types of feelings, you get confused, but just try and be as honest with yourself and accept that maybe you're confused, and I mean, if you're going to say something, and if you feel like you need to say something to him, definitely talk to him in person and not through text.
Yeah, because the more that we're talking about this, the more I'm thinking is that some people just do not want to be alone on Valentine's Day, and so the easiest route is to go backwards, to go with somebody that you broke up with for a reason. There's a reason why you guys are not together anymore. So it's not very functional to say, "Hey, could you be my boyfriend for a day?" just because I'm uncomfortable. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling lonely because of this day exists on our calendar that says you're supposed to be in a couple. Like, you're really not supposed to be in a couple unless you're already in a couple. And to dig up some romance that is best left in your rearview mirror just so that you could have someone by your side on Valentine's Day is not fair to you and not fair to him. You can have like a really fun day with your friends and do all kinds of like silly games and just laugh a lot, and the day will go by and you can spend the day thinking about what would be a good boyfriend for you and what would be a healthy relationship with, rather than being with an ex just because you're afraid of being by yourself. Jake?
I don't know. I don't know if any of you guys have seen 30 Rock, but Liz Levin, the main character, every February 14th celebrates Anna Howard Shaw Day, which is the birthday of one of a rather obscure but still very important women's suffragette in the 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can realize that when obviously the joke is that this is just a rare arbitrary chosen event, right? But that it's just that. It's just a thing that some people are like, hey, let's make some money selling chocolates. So they're like, yeah, love is this day. You're supposed to love people this day only and never ever again. So it can stir up crazy random emotions that shouldn't exist because they're really good at advertising. Like, really good at advertising. So to realize that it's just a day, it has just as much power over you as yesterday did. They're just existence. So you don't have to make it something bigger than it is.
Yeah, and that's what I tell my husband on our anniversary. So saves me a ton of money. No, I agree with Jake. It's just there's probably more than 50% of the people on the planet who don't have a mate on Valentine's Day. So you're not. It's not like you're singled out as the only one, especially when you're still a teenager. It's like, come on, it's just a day. Remember that. Please embroider that into a cushion and have Jake as the author. It's just a day. Are you guys ready for Thread Theater Act 2 Middle School Romance? It's quite riveting. The reviews are in. The critics love it. Clive Davis was over the moon. Is that a person? No. Who's the guy that reviews for the New York Times? Not Clive. Clive Davis is the guy from Arista Records. Is there someone else who reviews for the New York Times? Anyone? Google it. All right. So let's see. Who should play the parts? Should we just go around the room? You can start, Montana. And I'll say the name of the character so that everyone gets their credit for their authorship. Thread Theater Act 2, Middle School Romance, always Macy.
I personally don't think relationships are real in junior high and middle school, but would like to hear the other side.
Torn Up, Wore Down.
Well, a lot of my mom's friends have dated the same guy on and off since middle school, and now they're married.
Jenny.
I wonder what your definition of real is. I think that if it's important to the person at the time, it shouldn't be devalued or labeled as not a real relationship. Relationships when you're young are and should be different than adult relationships, but that doesn't make them less important or mean. They shouldn't be as respected.
Hey, J200.
I agree with Jenny. Just because they aren't as contact-filled as adult relationships does not make them less important or real.
Angelina Maria.
I so agree. Most people break up the next day and all you do is hold hands and have a date at the lunch table. Depends on if the people hang out outside school too, I guess, though.
Memes 1, 2, 3.
The relationship's realness depends on the two people, their confidence, and their restrictions.
Crazy Girl with the Heart.
I disagree because the kids that were going out when I was in middle school were actually pretty serious. They go out on dates and do a lot of that physical stuff. Some of them have been going out since the 6th and 7th grades and are still strong together.
Garus 888.
As long as they really are real, not those stupid ones where they break up in a week. My uncle and his ex-wife dated since 8th grade and were best friends since 5th grade. They were married for 20 years. Unfortunately, they got divorced 2 years ago, but those kinds of relationships are good.
Never Give Up.
It's just different. They're less serious and maybe a little more like friends, but it's still real.
Me and I.
Real relationships can happen anytime at any age. It just depends on the person. But I think in middle and high school you should focus on studying. Relationships might end, but your education will always be useful.
Music Girl.
I kind of agree. I have a lot of friends who keep saying they have a boyfriend just because they both like each other. They don't go out on dates or kiss. Sometimes they'll just call the guy they like their boyfriend. It kind of annoys me because maybe that's just because I'm 12 and I haven't been kissed.
Fire Kitty.
I did date a guy in 8th that I really cared about, and we dated for over a year. So I think they can be real depending on the person.
K.
I think it doesn't matter when you start dating. Whether it's age 11 or age 18, as long as you respect the other and understand the limits, then it's perfectly fine.
Jacka 20.
I'm still looking for a middle school girlfriend. I think it's a good thing.
All right, so is there a lot of pressure to date in middle school when really the dating isn't any more than kind of a label for a special friend? I don't know. One person said something about physical stuff in middle school. I'm hoping that that's not the norm because it's way too young for any relationship to turn physical. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Well, I don't know what he meant or who she meant by physical. And I don't know. I never felt any pressure, but then again, I'm weird and I didn't really care about what anybody thought. But I did notice that middle school was when, guys and girls would start hugging each other. And in elementary school, that didn't happen. We kind of separated each other, and guys and girls would start hanging out together and stuff.
I didn't notice that hugging started until high school. I feel like we were still really awkward about hugging in middle school.
My middle school, guys and girls started
Big
hugging.
huggers.
Yeah.
Montana?
Yeah, I think in middle school, at least at my school, there was a lot of pressure to have like a significant other, but it wasn't ever like you ever did anything or you went out to places. I even was really confused about that in middle school because like my friends would have like a boyfriend or something. I'm like, oh, does he take you on a date? And she's like, no. And I'm like, have you hung out with him ever? And she's like, no. And I'm like, do you know his last name? No. But
Does he know he's your boyfriend?
that's debatable. But so I think it's kind of, it's, when Kay says I think it doesn't matter when you start dating, I think it matters a little bit. Like, when you're 11 and you have, like, a boyfriend or whatever, where it's just you guys kind of just hang out and you're actually just friends, basically. I mean, I think that's okay, but you can't just start serious dating when you're, like, 7. That's a little ridiculous. But, again, I think it's important to respect these kids' relationships because, I mean, they're still people who can still have a capacity for like caring about somebody else.
Yeah.
Danny, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Whoa. It's like dating in middle school is like an introduction to like dating, like seriously, like in high school and like like in junior high, I asked this girl to be my girlfriend, and it lasted a weekend. So it was just Friday, and then Monday I broke up with her.
48 strong hours. Nice.
And like I think I called her once on Sunday or Saturday, I forgot what it was. But yeah, it was like weird.
You never told us that.
They're brother and sister, in case anyone didn't know. Kyo?
I think the word real is really vague though. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean exactly?
What does it mean?
What is real?
What is real? That's as vague as what does relationship at age
Yeah.
12 mean? I mean, if your heart is pounding because someone walked into a room, those are feelings, and
Yeah.
we're never gonna estimate, or what's the word for not give credit or credence or
Discredit.
yeah, we're not gonna tell you that like, I don't believe in the term puppy love, or because I think the first love that you feel is probably the strongest, so it's like intense and very powerful, and I would never say that doesn't qualify as what it feels like to be in love, because when you feel love, you feel it, and it's like all you can think about, so it's overwhelming. Go ahead, Yulia.
Yeah, I think like middle school relationships, they're like practice.
Yeah.
Like you kind of practice to get to know a person, and then you break up a week later or 2 days later. And so when you get older, relationships get easier because I think you have to be fake in the beginning when you're younger, because you're not as strong. Well, you don't trust yourself as much. And so as you get older, you start you're more comfortable with yourself, and then relationships just kind of are more natural.
Mm-hmm. Practice like anything else. There's like stage time for your heart. Go ahead, Montana.
While middle school relationships may be like practice for like high school and beyond, I don't think you should ever take middle school relationship norms into any other sort of actual dating. Oh, that's mean. Okay. Like dating that's not in middle school, because it's a very weird convention, because there's no in between from like friends and then going out on dates and then like boyfriend and girlfriend. No, it's like we're either friends or you're my boyfriend or girlfriend.
Right. Well, because
it's either or.
Yeah, it's like sort of like jump in the lake so you learn how to swim. So the idea of like asking someone out on a date in middle school and having it be one date, but not meaning that your boyfriend and girlfriend, is completely foreign to 12-year-olds. They're like, what?
Well, most of the time they don't even go out on dates. They're
Well,
just
they don't. So it's not available to them. So it's like we're either dating or we're not. And no, they're not actually dating. So, Jake, what were you going to say?
Oh, okay. I was going to make a point not only about middle school relationships, but high school relationships as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dating implies that you date and then you continue to date. And like in the real world, you can go out on a date with someone and then that's it. That's the last date.
Yep.
That's how you get to know people. And it's because in high school and middle school, you just kind of have to like randomly pick a person that you kind of know and go, do you want to sign up for a thing that may last an unknown amount of time? And they go, okay, sure. And then you could go on one date and totally not hit it off. But like, there's still this pressure to be like, oh, we went on a date. We're dating now. And I
Yeah.
think that's what makes it all kind of weird.
And I don't know if that's because you see the people every day, so it has to be all or nothing, or if just because you're not able to go on one single date in a car somewhere and say, do you like cheese? I like cheese. This has been fun. Let's do it again. You don't get to do that. It's all or nothing. Or if it's just that that's the best way to actually practice talking to a person that you find romantically interesting, is to suddenly be a couple and like have to talk to this person, on a daily basis until you decide that was not working out. But like actually adult dating is, I think, easier. If you do not want to see the person again, there's every possibility you may never see the person again. And but in school it's like that. It's like you have to say, do you want to go out, meaning are we now a couple? And there's no in between. Oh, we have to end the show. Happy Valentine's Day, and single Pringles, we love you. Be strong, because that's the best way to do Valentine's Day rather than with the wrong person. We love you, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
I've been out there wandering. I've been in